Good morning, muscles! It's Mr. Fallon. Today is Tuesday. Today is going to be an awesome day. Remember, boys and girls, Good Morning Muscles is your daily Kickstarter for what's going to be a fantastic day. Boys and girls, Good Morning Muscles is uploaded on It's Mr. Fallon's YouTube page every morning, 6 a.m. So even if you're up after 6 a.m., as soon as you wake up, get on YouTube, find Good Morning Muscles, do it, get stronger, and just start off your day in the best way possible. Hey, let's go. All right, for our warm-up today, we're going to figure out what is stronger, a crab or a bear. This is how it's going to work. Let's start off in a crab walk position like this. And what I want you to do is take one hand, touch the shoulder, put it down, touch the shoulder, and we're going to keep switching back and forth. Keep it going. Don't let your bottom touch the ground. We're trying to be the strongest crab we can be. Keep touching your shoulders. Very, very nice. Keep your bottom up. Be very strong. Be the strongest crab in all of Olean. And let's see if we can do it 10 more times. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Now stay where you're at. Keep your bottom up. Now let's see if we can do 25 crab kicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't let your bottom touch. 9, 10. Be strong. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Keep those feet up high. 23, 24, 25. All right. Rest. Whew. While the crab was doing those exercises showing off how strong it was, the bear came by and the bear said, I am stronger than you. I can do better. So now let's get in the bear walk position. And here we go. We're touching our shoulders. Up and just like we did with the crab walk. Very, very nice. Don't let your knees touch the ground. Going back and forth. Touching our shoulders. Let's see if the bear is stronger than the crab. Very good. Let's do it 10 more times. Mr. Fallon feels his arms getting very strong. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Now stay where you're at. Don't let the bottom touch the ground. And now we're going to do some bear kicks. And we're going to try to do 25 of them. Get your feet up. Add 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. See how high you can get your foot up. At 15, 18, 19, 20. Can you get your foot up higher than Mr. Fallon? 22, 23, 24, and 25. Whew. Alright. While the bear was showing off how strong he was, the crab came by and said, oh, you're pretty strong, but watch what I can do. This time, we're going to take our tape ball. We're going to get in the crab walk position. And let's see if we can toss it up and catch it. Toss it up and catch it. Oh boy, we have to catch it with one hand. And maybe you can try to toss from this hand over to this hand. Toss it and catch it. Don't let your bottom touch the ground. Very nice. This is a tough challenge. This is a strong crab. You are getting so strong. This is great. And let's try to do 3 more. Catch the last 2. And catch the last one. Very nice. Boys and girls, great warm-up. I feel so strong. Awesome work. Alright, what did the right eye say to the left eye? Between us, something smells. You get it? Between your right eye and your left eye, something smells. Alright, boys and girls, it's now time for Spot Run Story Time. Boys and girls, we're already on Chapter 14 of Wayside School Gets a Little Stranger. If you weren't here over the weekend, we did Chapters 12 and 13 over the weekend. Go back and watch those videos after we're done. This book is hilarious. Hey, get up, get spot running. We're on Chapter 14, a light bulb, a pencil sharpener, a coffee pot, and a sack of potatoes is what this was called. I wonder what's going to happen. Galileo was a great scientist, said Mrs. Drizzle. He was born in Italy in 1564 and died in 1642. He was the first person to use a telescope to study the stars. And he also helped figure out the laws of gravity. Have you ever used a telescope before? My brother loves telescopes. Oh, I know about gravity, said Joe. Mrs. Jules pushed the computer out the window. It fell a lot faster than a pencil. I don't think so, said Mrs. Drizzle. Galileo proved that all objects fall at the same speed. He conducted a very famous experiment. He dropped lots of different objects off the Leaning Tower of Pisa. The Leaning Tower of Pisa is in Italy. It was built in... Todd raised his hands. You're getting a little boring, he said. Oh my goodness, asked Mrs. Drizzle. Rondi, Leslie, Paul, and Kelvin nodded their heads. Yes, you're getting boring, Mrs. Drizzle. I am so sorry, said Mrs. Drizzle. She thought a moment. I know, she exclaimed. Let's do the experiment here. The children shared. They loved experiments. Do you like experiments? Mrs. Drizzle rubbed her hands together. Let's see. We'll need a coffee pot, a pencil sharpener, a light bulb, and she thought a moment, we need something heavy. An elephant's heavy, said Benjamin. There are no elephants at Wayside School, said Mrs. Drizzle. Everyone laughed. How about a sack of potatoes, asked Ron. I bet Miss Mush has one. Go see, said Miss Drizzle. There was a coffee pot down in the office, said Stephen. Go get it, said Mrs. Drizzle. If I had a screwdriver, I could get the pencil sharpener off the wall, said Eric Fly. I've got a screwdriver, said Jenny. Can we use a fluorescent light bulb, asked Phoebe. She looked up at the ceiling. I guess so, said Mrs. Drizzle. How do I get it, asked Phoebe. You're the scientist, said Mrs. Drizzle. You'll need to figure it out. Phoebe put her chair on top of her desk and stood on it. I don't know how safe that sounds. She still couldn't reach the ceiling. Hey, Benjamin, let me have your chair. She put Benjamin's chair on top of hers, but she still wasn't tall enough. Kelvin dumped the waste paper basket onto the floor. Try this, he said. Phoebe turned the trash can upside down and put it on top of Benjamin's chair. Then she climbed to the top, but she still couldn't reach it. Leslie brought the class dictionary. Jenny and Dana donated their math books. Sherry grabbed Mrs. Drizzle's old blue notebook. "Put that down," yelled Mrs. Drizzle. "Right now." Sherry dropped the notebook. Mrs. Drizzle's kindly old face had suddenly turned mean. "Don't ever touch that again," Mrs. Drizzle ordered. Sherry returned trembling to her seat. Everyone was staring at Mrs. Drizzle. She smiled sweetly. "Go back to what you were doing," she said. "Can you believe she's letting her climb on top of these chairs?" Jason threw BB his lunchbox. She set it on top of the books and climbed to the top. Standing on her tiptoes, she was able to pull the cover off the fluorescent light. She grabbed the light just as the pile collapsed beneath her. She fell to the ground, triumphantly holding the unbroken light bulb above her head. Ron returned with a sack of potatoes from Miss Mush. Stephen returned with Mr. Kidswatter's coffee pot. Eric Fly unscrewed the pencil sharpener from the wall. Mrs. Drizzle wrote coffee pot, sack of potatoes, pencil sharpener, and light bulb on the blackboard. "We're going to drop all 4 objects out the window at the same time," she said. "How many people think the coffee pot will hit the ground first?" "Is there coffee in it?" asked John. "It's about half full," Stephen reported. 8 kids thought the coffee pot would hit the ground first. 16 thought the sack of potatoes would hit the ground first. 3 thought the light bulb would be first. Only Terrence thought the pencil sharpener would hit first. Jason, Jenny, Joe, John, and Joy were the judges. Mrs. Drizzle sent them outside. Stephen held the coffee pot out the window. Phoebe held the light bulb out another. Eric Fry held the pencil sharpener out another. And Ron held out the sack of potatoes. Everyone else crowded around to watch. With everyone on the same side of the classroom, the school leaned a little bit, just like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. "On your mark, get set, let go," said Mrs. Drizzle. The objects fell through the air and smashed against the pavement. A short while later, the judges returned. Their clothes were splattered with coffee. Jenny had bits of potato in her hair. "Was the pencil sharpener first?" asked Terrence. "It happened so fast," said Joe. "They all hit about at the same time." "But the coffee pot made the coolest explosion," said Jason. "I think the light bulb hit the ground last," said John. "Well, that's possible," said Mrs. Drizzle. "Gravity causes all objects to fall at the same rate, but air slows them down. That's called air resistance. And that's good. Otherwise, raindrops would kill us. Air resistance slows all things down a little bit, but has a greater effect on very light objects, such as a piece of paper, and of course, the shape of the paper is important too. A crumpled up piece of paper will fall faster than..." "You're getting boring again," said Mac. Mrs. Drizzle stopped talking. "Now we need a new pencil sharpener," said Leslie. Paul licked her hair. Boys and girls, our steps for today are: tomorrow, episode 15, we're going to learn about an elephant in Wayside School. What's that going to be about? Hey, boys and girls. It's game time. Here we go. All right, for game time this week, we're working on our volleyball skills. Yesterday, we worked on doing an underhand serve in volleyball. If you missed it, go back, watch Good Morning Muscles from yesterday. It was so much fun. So much fun. Mr. Volland ended up practicing. I ended up being able to make it in the box a few times. Were you able to serve it in your box? That's pretty cool. Today, boys and girls, we're going to learn a second type of serve. And the second type of serve we're going to learn today is an overhead serve. So this time, I'm going to try to serve it above my head. To do an overhead serve, Mr. Fallon's going to toss it up and hit it with his other hand, trying to hit it above my head. Now, Mr. Fallon has to be careful when I do it, because if I do it wrong, I'm going to hit my hand on the ceiling, and that's going to hurt. So let's see. Hopefully you don't have that problem at home. So I'm going to toss it up and I'm going to serve it with this hand. Now when I serve it, I want to keep my hand open. And just like with the underhand serve, when I tried to serve the underhand serve, I tried to serve it with the heel of my hand. Right here where my hand meets my wrist. That's the hardest part of your hand. So Mr. Fallon's going to try again. I'm going to toss it up and serve it. Just like that. Toss it up and serve it. That's my overhead serve. Now, if you want to try an extra challenge, you could try to toss it up really high. Mr. Fallon's not going to be able to try this challenge. You could try it. Do something Mr. Fallon can't do. Try to toss up really high, and instead of waiting for it to come down, see if you could jump up and serve it over your head. So I'm going to toss it up and serve it. Can you jump up and get it? Serve it? This is our overhead volleyball serve. Now, once you practice with this hand a whole bunch of times, you can try to challenge yourself and see if you can serve it with the other hand. Toss it and serve it. And serving it over your... Ooh, that was a stinky one. It hit Mr. Fallon's watch. Trying to serve it over your head. Oh, another stinky one. Mr. Fallon needs some more practice with this hand. Are you better with one hand than the other? And if you're better with one hand than the other, that just means you need a little more practice with the hand that you're not as good with. This is our overhead volleyball serve. Now here's your challenge. We're going to see if you can do an underhand serve.
Throw the ball up just a few inches. Doesn't have to go any higher.
Get your ball. As soon as you get your ball, then you're going to try for an overhead serve. So remember, for our underhand serve, hold the side of the ball at your waist with your arms straight. Take a step and serve it. Get your ball and overhead serve. And I'm going to get my ball again. Here we go. Trying an underhand serve. Step and serve. Remember to step every time you serve. Toss it up and an overhead serve. Can you serve it even harder? Now I'm going to try it with my other hand. I don't know if I've ever done an underhand serve with my left hand. Mr. Fallon's going to try it right now. At my waist with my arms straight. Step and serve. Get my ball. Toss it and overhead serve. Wow. Every time I serve it, remember I'm serving with the heel of my hand. Boys and girls, I encourage you to keep practicing both the overhead serve and the underhand serve. Tomorrow when we come in for Good Morning Muscles at game time, we're going to work on a next volleyball hit called a bump. If you don't know what a bump is and you want a sneak peek, go back on It's Mr. Fallon's YouTube channel and you'll find an episode that I did with Miss Acherno all about bumping. I'll get you set for tomorrow. Hey, keep practicing. Ah, boys and girls, what great work today. Wow, we found out who is stronger, a crab or a bear. We learned more about Wayside School, getting a little stranger. We practiced their serves, and we learned a brand new serve called the overhead serve. We did some more fun stuff and had a few laughs along the way. Boys and girls, I had so much fun this morning. I hope you had fun. If you had fun this morning, make sure you're here tomorrow. Good Morning Muscles is every single day. And if you've missed one of the episodes, hey, that's the cool thing about YouTube. You can go back and watch those episodes. Boys and girls, today is going to be just an awesome day. I'm so excited for what's going on. I hope you're so excited. And I look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow morning. And I hope you have just an awesome, awesome day. See you tomorrow. Muscles!